Yo, what's up? Welcome in. Go episode of Hunt for the Perfect Parlay. Here we go. So, man, yeah, let's just run it up in here. You know what I'm saying? Welcome back. You know what I'm saying? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the page and everything. For all the people that has been rocking with me, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. But let's get up into it. We're gonna whip up a parlay for week 16. So, as the disclaimer goes, I am not an expert. Please do your own research. Any gains or losses are strictly on you. Take accountability and gamble responsibly. So let's get up into it. Right now, watching the Alabama and the Oklahoma game. Alabama look like they're about to win. Got Jake Paul versus Joshua Anthony going on. So Anthony Joshua, I say Joshua Anthony. I mean Anthony Joshua going on. You know, it's a good sports night. It's a good sports night. But let's just get into this parlay right now for week 16 in the NFL, because from last week there's a lot of things that's been, popping off that was like really affecting the playoff picture. Like, the Colts get not the Colts, like the Chiefs getting knocked out of the playoff run. Phillip Rivers quarterbacking for the Colts, which I don't understand that move right there. Hey, it looks nice on television and everything, but foresighting it and all that, it's not gonna look good going into the playoffs. Even if y'all can make the playoffs with with that crazy AFC South division and everything. But let's get into it. Thursday night football game was kind of crazy. If you did whip up a parlay, most likely, and if I did decide to whip up a perfect parlay, I would have picked the Rams to beat the Seahawks. I think that the Rams are a better team than the Seahawks, even to this day. Even with the win that the Seahawks got on them, the Rams are a better team. There was no way. I feel like there was really no way the Seahawks should have won that game last night. That 2-point conversion was so lucky. So lucky. And I mean, how Sam Darnold played compared to how Stafford played, if you look at the stats, no way. They should have never won this, man. That was a resilient team. That's all I gotta say, man. Resilience is crazy. That run game is crazy. The return with Shaheed is crazy. The Seahawks turned the ball over 3 times. They were not supposed to win. They were not supposed to win. That was like so lucky that they got that win, but now because they got that win, it kind of makes the playoff picture look kind of weird. I didn't look at it this morning because when I first looked at it, I'm thinking like, of course, the Rams clinched their division. I think they clinched a playoff berth, but they didn't clinch their division yet. So I think it's still open, man. San Francisco kind of needed Seattle to do that for them. So I think it's still wide open, but I will look into this to exactly how this affects the seeding position in the NFC. But let's just get up on to the heart of the parlay. We got 2 games popping off tomorrow, Saturday, which is Philly versus Washington and Green Bay versus Chicago. I swear I was just watching Netflix, and because it's gonna be on Netflix, and for some reason they keep saying Dallas versus Washington, or maybe I keep seeing the Dallas Star right there by the W for the Washington Commanders, which is like whatever. I'm pretty sure it's Philly. Yeah, so Philly versus Washington and Green Bay versus Chicago. Now these 2 games right here, well, obviously you already know Philadelphia is going to beat Washington. That's the easy games right there. Philly over Washington. That's what I got. The spread is set at 7 points. Philly being a favorite. Obviously Philly's going to beat Washington right there. But the game that is kind of very even Steven is Green Bay versus Chicago. Chicago being the favorite at a 1.5 spread. Yes, this basically spells this out right here. One of these teams, and really can be Chicago, can take the North within this game right here. Because in the beginning of the season, if you were to ask anybody who was going to win the NFC North, you was going to say Detroit. Detroit was the obvious answer and everything. Nobody expected Chicago to still be sitting on top, but it's like how their position, it's like Chicago was number 1 for a while, then they just dropped all the way to the 8th seed. That was a wild one right there. Maybe because with the Green Bay win last time, who did they play last time? Let me see. I'm going back in the on the say. Okay, Green Bay lost to Denver. Green Bay lost to Denver, but Chicago. Let's see where Chicago at right now. In here, did they take a bye? No, Chicago played Cleveland. So obviously Chicago got that win. Green Bay got the loss. So now we're at this stance where it's like one of them has to win, right? It has to either be Chicago or Green Bay to be number one in the North right now. And I feel like Chicago might have Green Bay's number on this one again. Maybe. Because the first time they played, the first time they played, yeah, Green Bay beat Chicago, but I feel like Chicago might get their get back. So I'm going to have to roll with Chicago on this one. So on my perfect parlay, I'll check it off. I would choose Chicago. So now with those two games knocked out of the park right there, this is how the list goes down. There are certain games that don't really fucking matter, and then there are certain games that do matter. But let's go with the easy games right now. The easy games that I have selected: Cincinnati versus Miami, spread set at 4.5. Cincinnati being the favorite, I choose Cincy. Buffalo versus Cleveland, 10.5 spread. Buffalo is the favorite. I choose Buffalo. Minnesota versus New York Giants, spread set at 2.5. Minnesota being the favorite. I choose Minnesota. And the Monday Night Football game, San Francisco 49ers versus the Indianapolis Colts, spread set at 5.5. 49ers the favorite. I choose the 49ers. Oh yeah, and I forget one more game. Las Vegas Raiders versus the Houston Texans. Spread set at 14.5. Houston is the favorite. I choose Houston. Now the games that don't matter. The games that really don't matter besides those games. But they're kind of like hard games to choose from. And so you got Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tennessee Titans. Spread set at 3. KC being the favorite. Patrick Mahomes is out. But they still got the same intact team. Minshew, you know what I'm saying? He's a veteran. Tennessee, they're still swinging, you know what I'm saying? I guess I'll go with Kansas. Because you still got to play ball. It doesn't really fucking matter at this point. You still got to play. You got to play your heart out and shit. The next game that really doesn't matter. New York Jets versus the New Orleans Saints. Spread set at 6.5, New Orleans being the favorite. I kind of want to call New Orleans a fluke on this one, but it wasn't a fluke how they just beat up on Tampa Bay and Carolina. Go Panthers still keep pounding. How they beat up on both those teams, and they were number one in their division. So the obvious, and then they're going to be in a dome. So the obvious selection will be New Orleans, and I think Tyler Shogg, I'm okay, man. I'm gonna get your name right, bro. I don't mean no disrespect, but I'm gonna get your name right soon. And I just think because he got that confidence in him now, you know what I'm saying? They should be able to beat the Jets. The only good thing about the Jets is their special teams. That's it. That's not taking nothing away from you, man. I wish, like, a lot of teams wish they had good special teams, but that's all they got right there. That's really all they got. Like, I don't even know who they're gonna even start as quarterback. I don't even pay attention to the Jets like that. Like honestly, guys, I don't pay attention to the Jets like that. I really don't. That's like an easy win for everybody. But then again, when you ignore shit like that, shit happens. So those were the games that didn't matter and whatnot. And I got my selection for New Orleans, which is a favorite at a 6.5. And then we have Atlanta versus Arizona. Atlanta Falcons versus Arizona Cardinals. Spread set at 3 points. Atlanta being the favorite. Now, I want to choose Atlanta on this one because Arizona's too hurt. Arizona will beat the F up. So I have to choose Atlanta. I'll choose Atlanta on that one. I think I might have to even whip up an underdog parlay, guys. This is a tough one. Last week was good. This one is just kind of tough to select based off the teams. And all right, so anyways, let's go on to the important games. We have like maybe, besides the Green Bay and Chicago game, we have like maybe 4 more important games. Let's run it down with Tampa Bay versus Carolina Panthers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Carolina Panthers. Spread set at 3.0. Bucks are the favorite. Carolina had a chance to, all they had to do was just beat the Bucks just one time. So now they have to beat the Bucks twice because they see the Bucks, then they got to see the Seahawks, then they got to see the Buccaneers again. They're the only team that I could spell out their schedule because that's my squad. So I want to choose Carolina. Carolina's a good home team at their home. They're really good at home. Tampa, man. Tampa. Bro, how they lost to Atlanta. How they lost to Atlanta was so fucking wild, bro. I'm just like, y'all should have beat Atlanta. Y'all should have beat Atlanta. Y'all should not have never gave Atlanta that chance because how they balled out and how trash that defense can be. And I don't want to talk down their defense because Todd Bowles is their head coach. What the fuck? I gotta choose. I'm gonna choose Carolina. Sorry, that's my underdog right there. I'm choosing Carolina. Carolina, I kind of feel they're not playing with no house money. They want to get into the playoffs. They hungry. They some young bucks they some young hungry dogs out there. They want it. It's just gonna come down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Carolina Panthers to see who wanted the most. And you'll find out Sunday. The next important game right here would be Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Denver Broncos. Jacksonville kind of will want to continue their winning streak right now because Houston is like right there breathing down their necks. So Houston's going to get that win against the Raiders. Jacksonville have to get that win on Denver. They have to, in order to be like in a comfortable lead, because they don't want the Texans to be right there neck to neck with them because it's going to be like a stress shot. Houston's going to win out all their games. They got the Raiders first, then I think they got the Chargers next, and after that they got the Colts minus Daniel Jones. So I could confidently say that Houston's going to win out, and it's going to be like who got the better record, Houston or Jacksonville. Jacksonville kind of have to win this game with Denver. Denver just, they got to continue winning too, because what Buffalo did to New England, that gives the Denver Broncos like a well-positioned like lead to like try to get to first in the AFC. You know what I'm saying? It's still wide open in the AFC as well. So, but Jacksonville has to win. Well, I'm going to just roll with Denver. Denver is the high hand. Every time I select Denver, they're a short shot. It's like, for some reason, they got the high hand. They're going to do what they got to do. So Jacksonville might drop in the seed at the end of the season, giving the Texans I think the Texans will be 4th seed or 3rd seed. No matter what, if they get a seed like that, they get a playoff home game. So I choose Denver. The next game will be Pittsburgh versus Detroit. Spread set at 7. Detroit is the favorite. I don't trust Detroit. I don't trust them anymore. But then I'm like, I don't know. Detroit might actually be able to beat the Steelers. They got the same record. Steelers just winning games. They're staying alive because Baltimore is like right there on their neck and everything. So if I was a Baltimore fan, I would want to go for Detroit to beat them. I just don't trust Detroit anymore for some reason, man. I just don't trust them no more. But I have to trust them in this game right here. Detroit to beat Pittsburgh straight up. They got to win. They have to win in order to still stay alive. They're not even in the playoff race. They're in the hunt. They're still in the fucking hunt. And for them to actually try to get over that hump, they need the Packers to lose. And they gotta beat Pittsburgh. And that's how I can see that. The NFC North is going to end off kind of crazy, man. It's going to end off crazy. It really is. The next game right here, Sunday Night Football game, New England Patriots versus the Baltimore Ravens. Spread set at 3. Baltimore being the favorite. I don't understand why. Maybe they back. I think they are, man. What they did to Cincinnati, bro. Cincinnati was just, It's like, man, free Burrow, man. Free Burrow, man. But other than that, man, I'm gonna have to just choose. I might choose. New England is New England, but they still young to me. And Baltimore just come on, Baltimore. I would like for y'all to get your asses into the playoffs. They're pretty much right there. They need the Steelers to lose, and then they can get up in there. So, Baltimore, I choose Baltimore at home. I'm going to have to whip up an underdog parlay. I'm not really confident in this parlay, but that's my parlay for the week and everything. I'm going to chill back and I'm going to still watch Anthony Joshua just beat the fuck out of Jake Paul because he is looking gassed. Knock this fool out, please. Come on, Anthony Joshua. You gotta knock him out, brother. But anyways, guys, I'm about to chill back, watch this, and I'll get back with y'all with another episode of teams I got beef with, because most definitely there's gonna be some teams I got beef with. Enjoy the weekend. Adios. Peace.